Hi, in this video we are going to discuss what is the best time to start SIP. Before getting into deep dive into this topic, let's understand at what time you can do the SIP. To do the SIP, you should have the regular monthly income. You should be confident enough, you should be disciplined enough that to keep the balance in your bank account, because at the particular date of every month the money will be deducted from your bank account and will be invested in the SIP. So through this, the money will be invested in SIP, and in long term, the money will get accumulated in SIP, and it will grow in compounding effect. And in long term, it will create a massive wealth. Let's understand. First is, before taking the decision to start the SIP, it should be finance. It should be you should have the stability in financially. So the first factor is financial stability. It means you should have the balance, you should have the bank balance in your bank accounts. You should have you should be agree, you should be disciplined enough that on that particular date the money will be deducted from your bank account. It means the money should not get less than the required balance in your bank account. It means you should have planned enough for your other expenditure, day-to-day expenditure, any other EMI, any uh, commitment which you may have. Then only you can do the SIP. Example, you are confident that only 5,000 rupees you can do the SIP to start with. Then don't commit that 15,000 you can do the SIP, because if you are confident enough only 5,000 rupees can be in your bank account on that particular date, don't commit by starting the SIP by 15,000, because this will not become a good sign. So if you are confident enough that 5,000 you can keep the balance on that particular date, so keep only the 5,000 and start the SIP to 5,000. And after a few months, once you are disciplined enough, if you want to increase that amount to 10,000 rupees, you can increase that as well. So the very first decision which you need to take is the financial stability. The next is the long-term investment horizon. So when you are doing the starting the SIP, please consider that this is for long term and it is not for short term. But I mean that it's long term. Yes, it is years, it's several years, it can be decades, it can be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, if you want to get the benefit of the compounding effect in the long term. Because first few years of SIP will not give a massive return. It will give a normal return. And also at the same time, if in certain period market fluctuates, when the market fluctuates and there can be uh, crash in the market, there can crash in the stocks. In that case, you can have the negative return as well if you are doing for the short term. So please keep in mind before taking the decision, you should have the long-term investment horizon before taking the decision. Please keep in mind you should do for minimum 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years like this. So keep this in mind as factor 2 before starting the SIP. The third thing is the market timing. To get the maximum return, people used to tell that you should buy the stock at the lower price and you should sell the stock at the higher price. This is the best way to do the investment, but practically it's very difficult to gain the skills. Very, very few people can timing the market to buy any stocks at very lower price and to sell at the higher price. This is, even though I used to not tell that it's impossible nowadays, but it's very difficult to gain that skill. You should have sufficient skills enough. However, if you do the SIP on that particular date, on a committed date, then the money will get deducted automatically. In this case example, if the market is high, so through that particular SIP amount you will get less number of shares or less number of units. And if market is down or the stock price is down, you will can get the maximum number of units from that SIP amount. In this case, it's not required to timing the market. Instead, by regular investing through this SIP, you can the SIP amount can get benefit from the rupee cost advantaging. It means it will get average, and in the long term, you will, it can be a good source of wealth creation. The third factor is goal clarity. Before investing, before starting the SIP, if you are clear for how many periods you are doing, for what you are doing. Example, is it for to buy a house after 15 years, to buy to take education, no, for your retirement plan, for no, for any foreign trip, for what you are doing the SIP. Means at which stage you need money for your children's education, for your children's marriage, right? So you should be clearly confident enough. You should have the clarity of the goal to start this IP also. At least if you're not clear about the goal clarity, if you have to secure your life and you need that at this age, you can do the you can do the work and you can do you can earn the money. But at the end of uh, uh, retirement, right? When you start the retirement, at that time you need more money as a purpose to start any business or to start anything, or to have a uh, happy retirement life if you want. You know, in that case, you need money. For that also, you can do the SIP. But at the same time, you should have the clarity. You should have the goal clarity where you want money. If you keep your goal, then it will help you to ensure that not to withdraw the money before that time period. Example, if you want, if the goal is you will you need this money at the age of 50 and you are only 10 20, right? So then you will not withdraw the money before age of 50. So it means if you are giving the reason of 30 years for this SIP, then you can accumulate a massive wealth. You can gain a massive wealth through this SIP. If your horizon is for your children's educations, example, children's education mostly after 20 years or 15 years, in that case, keep the SIP only for the 15 years. So set your goal. Let have the clarity on the goal so that you can take the proper decision on the SIP. So if you want to see what is the benefit, let me take an example. So what is the benefit that if you start the SIP when, right? So example, you should start the SIP now, or you should start the SIP after 5 years. So let's take an example. So I'm going to the browser and I'm going to do the SIP calculator. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to the browser and let me take you to the SIP calculator. So here if you will see, so example, you are investing only 15,000 rupees per month, right? So in this case, example, you and on an average, the market is giving 12% return. For example, time period you want to keep it is for 20 years, 10 years, right? So in this case, just see the you invested is 18 lakh and your total value is 34 lakh. Just imagine in case of doing 10 year, if you will do for 15 year, it's becoming 75 lakh. Instead of 15 years, if you will do for 20 years, just see how much, 1 crore 49 lakh. So now see, in my first example, I showed you, if you are doing for 10 years, you are getting only 34 lakh. And if you are doing 20 years, you are getting 1 crore 49 lakh. It means almost 4.5 times. Just imagine, by investing instead of 10 years, if you are investing for 20 years, the money is getting 4.5 times. The wealth is getting created by 4.5 times. So it is always best to do the SIP for more than 15 years. So if you have not started, the best time was whenever you start earning, you should start the SIP then and there. It means if you started earning the money 5 years before, you should have started the SIP 5 years before. If you have not started, you should start now. It means we should say that the best time to start the SIP was yesterday. If you miss that opportunity, please start the SIP now. Because the purpose is not to just start, the purpose is just to start as early as possible so that you can give a maximum period before withdrawing the money from the SIP. If you give the maximum period, the wealth will be created at massive rate. Just imagine if you are age of 20, okay, and you are you are thinking that making wealth is difficult, becoming a earning crores of rupees is difficult. Just imagine you are example 15 or you are in 20, but you want to retire at least a crorepati, right? 20 means if you work up to 60 years, right? Then 40 years you give the time, right? So just imagine if you will give 40 years, how much amount is coming? It is coming 17 crore. At least if you start money, if you start investing SIP, you will have massive wealth when you will become old or at the age of 50 or 60. At least your children can have the massive wealth. In this way, we can improve our improve our family financially. Just imagine if that it will continue for 50 years. 50 years, this calculator itself is not coming. 40 years is the maximum. So this is a good amount. Just see, imagine while selecting the fund also I have taken 12 percentage. Now if you will see for 15 percentage, just imagine what will be the return. 47 crore. So this is a very huge money which we can get into, which you can get it. So please start the SIP as early as possible. If you have not started the SIP, please start now. So as I say, The best time to start SIP was yesterday. If you missed it, please start now. Don't wait for anything. Start the SIP now. So the example is just in front of you. You can go to any SIP calculator, you can do your own calculation and just imagine. Instead of 15, if you're confident enough, the 20%, right? You any good stock, just see. Wow, how much? 255 crore. Very good. Just imagine for 10 years and here 25,000. Not good amount, right? So just imagine for 15 years, 2 crore 83 lakh. Just imagine for 20 years, 7 crore. So you can just play, you can see what is the amount and the return. Okay. So you saw how the wealth is getting created through SIP. So don't get delay. So the takeaway is you should have the financial stability to start the SIP with a very less amount. You should have the long-term investment horizon to get the massive wealth. Like as I told, if you are doing the SIP for 10 years, the amount which you are getting, and if you are doing the SIP for 20 years, the amount you are getting for 4.5 times more money by just doubling, by just keeping the money for more period, another 10 years, the money will get 4.5 times. So no need to do the market timing, and because the SIP will take care of that market timing by averaging. The next is the goal clarity, so that if you have the clarity on the goals, you will not withdraw the money before that period. So conclusion, please start the SIP now if you have not started. As I said, the best time to start the SIP was yesterday. If not, it is today. Please make disciplined enough. Keep the money in your bank account so that SIP can be invested regularly. Please consistent enough so that the SIP will take care of you in future. I'm sure this video helped you to understand why you should do the SIP and why you should do the SIP now. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and please hit the like button and share with your friends. See you in the next video. Thank you.